Hello, 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 and welcome to this evening's Grand Prix. You join myself, Lemony Tang, and Just Gaming in the commentary booth this evening. This is the Prospect eRacing League Tier 1 Round 11 from Silverstone, British Grand Prix. Nice to have you along, Just Gaming. Nice to have everyone at home along as well. This should be a great one this evening.
Oh, this should be an extraordinary race. It's the penultimate race of the season here, Lemony. So all these drivers want to end the season on a good note, but they have 2 races to come, and right now Silverstone Circuit is right on their tails.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great one. Interesting. It's a fast track. It's flowing. These guys need to find their rhythm quick. It's a short qualifying as always here in the Prospect eRacing League. These guys need to get their runs in quick and get used to this track sharpish.
Yeah, it's very, very sharp, especially with Sector 1, where you have from turns 1 to 5 all the way right before the Wellington Straight. Very crucial to get those turns correctly, and of course the dreaded Sector 2 of maggots and baggage through turns 10 all the way down to turn 14. Very, very crucial to get these corners done, but let's see who done their homework.
It is definitely the crucial part of this track, and as well as that, if you have a bit of a moment, it's not just a small moment. There's already a yellow flag out there. Interesting even that we say it while we talk about it, but yeah, these guys, they're going to have a big one out here if they're not careful.
Oh yeah, it just comes down to the mentality of the drivers as well. Silverstone Circuit does not take any prisoners too lightly. You'll be lucky to get away with just having a scratch on the car. But yeah, let's just see how these drivers are going to do. EK's going to be the first one to start their quali lap now, and he's actually going on a set of mediums, and I'm looking over the field. We kind of have like a mixed bag with strategy here, actually, Lemony.
Interesting enough, there should be enough time for 3 runs as always in the short qualifying, but we have a 1 car off already through the dreaded turn 1. I see it on the track map. But yeah, these guys have enough time for 3 runs theoretically out there, so use the mediums, get yourself a nice bit of an association lap more than anything else. You know, get a good run in, find your rhythm, find them turn in points as well, crucially enough. Get that muscle memory kicked back in again, and to use your new soft stand for the rest of the qualifying session, and save a set for the race as well.
Exactly, just get that extra bit of rubber out on the track, give yourself a little bit of an advantage. But I already have a few people spinning out around the track. So we had Harris spin around turn 1. That was what you saw, actually, Lemony. Mm-hmm. But then we have Optic spinning around, and same goes with Clement Pheasant doing a full 360 around Cops Corner, and that corner has been given let's just say a lot of memories throughout the years, let's say, especially recently with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen going side to side through there.
100%. I think someone's also around at the top of Brooklands there as a Quasar goes across the line on a 127.7. Pretty feisty with that one, but I know the guys will be eager beaver to try and get that one done and dusted with. More lap times coming in. Jackson already beats it on a 127. Oh, so the lap times coming in ticking fast. The aim of the game is to keep your car on the track, especially through these fast corners, because all it takes is one mistake and you're all into the wall, as we've seen a couple of guys already trying to have a good stab of it now at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that these drivers are really going to struggle with is the traction. Just trying to, it's like basically if you don't have any traction control and like the assist, and you go too much on that throttle, that you can easily spin your car around here. There's turn 4 of loop right after Village. Then you have, as you said, Brooklands and Luffield. Then of course you have Cops Corner, you have Maggots and Beckett's. You even have Stowe, where we actually see Harris spun around now as well. And then of course you have the Vale Chicane and Club Corner as well. Very difficult to get those right, but if you get it, you're going to be getting such an extraordinary lap time.
As you say, as we're looking on board here at Total Carney, as he comes down the hanger straight now towards that infamous Stowe corner. Very fast right-hander, only a couple of downshifts through the gearbox, and he's flat out through the exit there. Downhill towards the Vale Chicane, famous for Vale. doing a Ricardo basically up the end of Max Verstappen one of the days, and then through the last corner now across the line goes Total Carney in a 1:27.9. But yeah, as you say, there's so many infamous corners around this track. It's fantastic to be back at one of the classics. The classic, it's the first ever race. Formula One World Championship was held at Silverstone Racetrack. It's amazing.
Actually, I never knew that, and I was actually doing a commentary here at Silverstone earlier today, actually, and I actually had a Silverstone being one of the most historic tracks, and with me not knowing my Formula One, I've only been into it for like about half a year now.
Ah, fair enough.
When I think of Formula One, I thought like the most iconic track would probably be like Monaco, like Monte Carlo. I thought that was always, but it looks like Silverstone, it is, as you say, that fact right there.
Well, Monaco is the principality, you know, it's the crown jewel. Some drivers, well, the win in Monaco is on par just about winning the World Championship in its own right. You know, it's like the Indianapolis 500 for the IndyCar. Maybe not as much as the Indy 500 to be fair, but very similar. And Silverstone though has that beautiful bit of history where it's been part of the calendar for so many years. You know, I think Ferrari is one of the only teams out there as well, the longest going, you know, so they've been at it since the very start, and it's amazing if you look at it all the way through how the teams and the tracks evolved, safety wise, speed wise, talent wise as well. You know, it's a great comparison, and it's a great kind of throwback to the yesteryear as well. One of the important classics, you can't leave it, you can't miss it.
History always being rewritten once and again, as we actually have another spin around, a vintage around loop right before Aintree. And that was actually one of the corners that really gets me a lot. Just trying to get on the throttle without spinning, it's super, super vulnerable to do. But as you can see, we still have a McLaren on top, FRL Jackson.
Up there goes
right as I say that.
Right as I say that. 27.044. We were looking at him through the lap, in fairness, on the stream, but we were having such a good chat, I didn't want to kind of cut across it. But yeah, fantastic stuff from Optic. Very well good. I was just about to say, he's Mr. Saturday, our very own Mr. Saturday here in the Prospects eRacing League on pole position for now. 10 minutes left to go though, mind you, so the guys will definitely have something to say about this one.
Well, let's see how these drivers take it now. Of course, Optic putting the time on the set of softs, wanting to go for a more of an aggressive start to the Grand Prix, where you have Jackson and Big Bambino, who just put in his time of 127.136 for him. They're actually set their time on the set of mediums, so it just makes you question what would be the best sort of strategy here at Silverstone. And in my opinion, is going to go straight down to the aggression. Get those softs quick and easy out of the way, do like about 10 laps on them, and then do the rest of the 16 on a set of mediums, and you'll be golden.
See, the thing about it is, right, yeah, you know, I'm 100% with you, because look, in fairness, I never had the pace to have that medium tyre as an option. It was just straight onto the softs. But, you know, these guys, they don't want to lose too much time towards the front of the field. So if you qualify 11th or 12th on them mediums, but everyone else in front is on softs, the time difference you lose to the leader by the time the pit stops comes along is a pit stop. Where at least if you're in the same strategy with them, you're up there. If you can make if you make your racing work, you could be battling for that lead. So many ways you can skin a cat, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know about that. But right now I'm actually on board with Owen, who's crossing the line now, and he goes 9th fastest at 127.676 for Owen. And actually, Cartboy's going to be next. So with 8 odd minutes left here, actually, Lemony, we have 3 drivers still yet to put in a time. Cartboy's coming across the line now. He goes 6th fastest, 127.286 for the Alfa Romeo. And it looks like Sufjan has actually invalidated his time, and Harris is currently on his outlap. So we're going to keep an eye on those two. But right now, it's still Optic taking provisional pole for the time being.
Here we go now. Harris just to go crosses the line. Time and beam to start another lap if you want to take us away there. Oh no, he's just invalidated.
Yep, it's that dreaded turn 1. It's always that dreaded turn 1. And you can see cutting straight through, just skipping loop. I never realized that was an option. I would have done that multiple times. But
I don't necessarily think you're meant to do that, so the stewards will be looking at that one.
Well, I mean, this could actually aid Alex actually right behind him with a little bit of slipstream. But yeah, so we're still waiting on Harris and Suffian to put in their time. 7 odd minutes left, and I'm currently looking in the chat right now for the people that are watching. We have Reggiano Cruz saying hello in the chat. We got Basil saying come on Optic with that provisional pole. Wish he was racing. Well, I mean, Basil, there was a spot open. There's a spot. There's 19 out of 20.
Oh, yeah, buddy. You should get yourself in here, man. Last the first challenge. Last the first.
Hey, why not? Let's see what he says.
Let's see. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe, guys. As usual, give it the old thumbs up. Be rude not to, as they say themselves. But yeah, it's an interesting one. 6 minutes and 30 odd seconds left on the clock. People really starting to wind up to their final runs here. Who's going to be able to make it happen? Total Carney, I believe, is on a lap time at the moment. He's up by 7/10 as well, coming into the last few corners in the Mercedes. What can he do when he crosses the timing beam? Let's see now. He's in the pole position on a 126.885. Great stuff by Total Carney.
The first driver to break into the 127-second barrier there, an extraordinary time. And Cartboy just following right behind at 126.925. But one person I think that we have to keep an eye on here is actually going to be FRL Jackson. Was 2/10 entering Sector 2. Currently 3/10 entering Sector 3. So we could be looking at a new pole sitter here from Jackson. Only has Stowe, the Vale Chicane, and then Club, and then the entrance of the Hamilton Straight to see if he can take pole position now. Previously did his time on a set of mediums, an extraordinary time I should say as well. But now coming across Club, is it a new pole sitter? Yes it is, a 126.506 for the McLaren driver of Jackson. The real life McLaren's not really doing that well, but Jackson is giving me a little bit of hope for my McLaren team at this point.
Good stuff from Jackson. What a phenomenal lap time. I'm having a look at Clement now. He's coming down the back straight here into Stowe corner. What can he do with the Aston Martin? Big pressure here. He's in 10th position on a new set of softs. A 127.5 is his fastest lap time. He is up as well. He's a little bit wide into the second last corner. He's going to compromise his speed. He's lost it. He's looped it. There we go. Unfortunately stuff for Clements, but he'll regroup hopefully and get a good lap time in. Will he get a good... He hasn't invalidated, so that's good news, but he's not really...
He's not really improving there, no.
Harris has a 5-place penalty.
Looks like, actually, that's a bit odd because they're in the pit lane, so it looks like they had a little bit of a collision while going into the pit lane. So Harris still yet to put in a time. Pigman Man has joined in midway, so that's our 20th driver. He's going to be starting at the back of the grid after retiring into the pit lane. And a bit odd with Harris. So I think they had a collision while going into the pit lane, but I'm not too sure there.
That's a strange one. Big Bambino's a bit across the line though. Puts in a valiant effort on a 126.622. Didn't quite make it with that one, but he might be able to regroup. No, he doesn't have enough fuel, I don't think. That's that one for him.
Well, I mean, on the front row is where you want to be, and on the front row, actually, if you are in second place, you're actually going to be starting on the inside of turn 1, so you could be actually getting a very early overtake there. But and then you actually have the inside line into turn 3 of Village, which is a tight right-hander. So you could that could be a very, very good position for him. However, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Wait and see. I'm on board at Optic right now. Oh, I don't know. Did he just make a mistake there? He's 2/10 up at the moment, though. He's purple in Sector 2. What can Optic do here in 6th position? He needs to gain another 5/10, I suppose, to challenge for this pole. But if anyone can do it, it's Optic into the second last corner now. Into the Vale Chicane. Nicely done. Lovely lines. Watch the exit. And he's just about to cross the line now. What can he post up? He's in his third. Unbelievable. 126.691. On the edge of my seat with that one.
Yeah, I could tell you almost lost your breath there. I was gonna be worried that I have to call the hospital to get you a little breathalyzer or something. But I mean, that's the one thing about these drivers as well, Lemony, that we can all agree on. These drivers always put on an extraordinary show, and it just takes our breath away with the amount of pace that we see out here. And of course, Lemony being the result of that as well.
They really do put a great show on here. I'm having a look at Sufjan. Now we're down all the way down in 20th position. Still no lap time here in the Scuderia, but he is on a flying lap right now. What can he put up on the board while everyone else is either in the pit lane or on their own laps out there as well? But Sufjan in the bottom. Oh, he's wide, but he gets away with it. Interesting line through there. I must note that one down in my notebook because that was a good one.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing about Cops Corner. You can really get away with going out of the track limits, going actually full power as well, and rejoining, and you'll still be in a valid lap time. So I think a lot of drivers taking advantage of that bug in the game. But Sufjan now making his way towards the Vale chicane. Let's see what sort of time he's going to put in here.
Ooh, he's wide. He's super wide.
Let's see this. There we go.
29.
16th fastest. 29.2. Continuing the drought of the Ferrari team here in Prospects. We actually almost had it being lifted, I believe, last week, but yeah, it's the Ferrari has not done very good this year in Prospects, but they are definitely going to be dominant in the real life scene. So.
Yes. Someone's into the wall. Dylan has crashed out at turn 1. I just seen on the track map. Unfortunate for himself. I'm looking at Owen here in the other Aston Martin going through Beckett's complex here now as well. Catching his teammate up in front. Oh no, it's not his teammate. Sorry, it's a Mercedes up in front. They do look similar in the TV glances. Even I got caught out there. But yeah, down into Stowe he comes now. Owen, DRS wide open. What can he put up on the board? A 127.6. Mr. Consistent, Owen. He seems to always find himself thereabouts by the end of the race if he can keep his nose clean. Oh no, he's looped it. Oh no, the car in front's looped it. His teammate looped Clement. It. That's Owen into 9th.
And Clement then gets a 5-place grid penalty, so wherever he finishes at the end of this, add a number 5 to it, and that'll be it. But so far, Jackson does have pole position, is currently down 2/10, but Optic now has pole position, a 126.352. You were correct here, Lemony. If anyone was going to take that position, it was going to be Optic. Takes it with, well, let's go 1.5 tenths off of Jackson there. So an extraordinary time there from the Alpine driver.
Optic absolutely smashing it, and I don't think Jackson has an answer. He's a 10th down on his lap time. Jackson into Stowe corner here. So maybe Optic has done it again, pulled the wool over the grid's eyes. Let's see. Jackson coming into the second last and last corner now. Can he have any answer to Optic here? No, he can't. He doesn't improve either himself, so unfortunately for himself, total carney now coming into the second last corner.
Well, let's see. Total Carney's making his way through Club now. What time is he going to set? Is he going to improve? No, he will not. He will not improve, but Alex is actually making his way there now. He was improving a little bit. He moves up to 5th of 126.710 for the Red Bull driver. And EKs, it doesn't look like he improved. He had a little bit of a slip on the final corner. And with Owen on the track, down by 32 seconds, which is pretty rare to do for Owen. I think that's actually going to be it for qualifying here, Lemony. Optics steals it at the dire moments, and Jackson could not answer back. That will be the front row here tonight.
Optic with a lap out of nowhere. That was a fantastic effort, a phenomenal lap by Optic to steal pole position from Jackson, Big Bambino and Anton at the end. And it was by a bit of a margin too. I tell you now, he really pulled it out of the bag But he is your pole winner, ladies and gentlemen. Optic, the Canadian driver, smashes it here for the Prospects eRacing League.
And that makes up the row right there. Owen Optic and Jackson on the front row with Big Bambino and Antoine. Alex is on the third row with Total Carney as well. And Total Carney could be a very good person for a good lap here. A good race here, starting in 6th place. And do you have a black screen, actually?
No, I'm loading in. So Cartboy is in 7th with Nick in 8th, and Quasar there in 9th. Owen is your top 10, ladies and gentlemen. And the rest of the field there are showing there. Pigman Man joins in at the end. And Harris didn't get a lap time, unfortunately, for himself out there with a bit of an old brush with the wall.
Yeah, and then of course Pigman Man, joining midway of qualifying, was forced to retire into the pit lane. And it's a cloudy one here tonight, Lemony. We could be looking at some mixed setups here tonight.
Interesting stuff. We'll have a look out the window just because I'm only around the corner. But yeah, seems like the drizzle is just starting to happen out here.
Wow, it looks like it's translated into the game as well. I mean, it is Silverstone. It is the British Grand Prix, so it would make sense. Where I'm in the middle of the ocean, so I can't really relate. But,
Water everywhere. Let's all have a drink.
Well, then you get the beard and I'll get the pink.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what I was trying to do there. Just forget that I tried to say anything there. Guys, let's talk about Silverstone, shall we? Oh, no.
Yeah, nicely done. So, as the grid gets ready for their warm-up lap, we get ready ourselves in the commentary booth. Oh, excuse me.
Wait, Is that a soda or is that champagne?
Well, that is definitely
You're celebrating early, eh?
That's a soda.
Yep, but I'm actually looking at the tire compound, so EKs are the only one in the top 10 with a set of mediums. And Pigman Man with a set of mediums, and Cruise Steamers with a set of hards. Everyone else with a set of softs. So everyone wants that aggressive start, and EKaser could be in deep trouble here.
Yeah, he could find himself out there a little bit, but once the tyres come up to temperature, I'd say after a few laps, if he can get a good move at the start, maybe he'd be doing okay. He's in 8th position with that as well, so he qualified on them mediums, ladies and gentlemen. A great effort from a Quasar in that respect.
But now, I actually have some information. If these drivers are listening, it could help them out. So the pit stop strategy is a one stop, of course, from lap 9 to lap 12. I think, because when I was doing the commentary earlier, it was bright and sunny, and people made those softs last around 10 laps. With it being cloudy right now, they might actually opt to put it potentially around 12 laps on the set of softs, or even 13 potentially, if they really nurse those rubbers. So this could be a long stint until we find the first pit stops coming in.
That's it. You need to keep that rubber nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth, nice and clean. Just stay on the black stuff and you will be fine. But now, actually, Lemony, with it coming to the near end of the formation lap, now, guys, if you guys are listening and you see yourselves coming back from time to time, every time Prospects eRacing League has a race from Mondays to Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. We even have one on Sundays, and I believe Thursdays as well, if I'm correct. So if you guys want to cue in to every single race we have here throughout the week, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you have that notification bell fully filled so you're notified every time we have a league race. And with that being said, it's time for red lights.
And the green flag is waved at the back. The lights are coming onto the gantry now. The 5 are on. The revs are rising, and away they go. The lights are out, and it's a clean getaway from the leader, Optic. It looks as if, who was that? That's somebody up the inside. It is indeed Jackson. Actually, Optic gets bullied out through turn 1 from the guys, and Optic's around.
There he goes, spins.
I can't believe it. He's out there losing it through turn 1. But everyone else piling in through the rest of the field there now as well. And Aston Martin is spun around through the bid pack. Optic has to make more basic maneuvers, and then we got a few other guys there as well. The Quasar getting a bit swallowed up. This is a hectic start to this race here, just gaming.
An extraordinary start for Big Bambino, and Jackson just caught Optic off guard. And I remember when you were saying with Basil doing a last to first, it looks like Optic is doing a first to last to first, so this could be an interesting one for Optic. However, it's just unfortunate that he's now down to 16th after being practically bullied through turn 1. I'm looking at. Oh, hold on. We could be looking at 3 wide into. Oh, okay. For a second there, I was looking at 3 wide into Megans and Beckett's, and that is a recipe for disaster, Lemony.
Yeah, I see it here. Sufjan having a great start from the rear. Is catching Ghostman, Pigman. He's going to the double inside here for the guys. He's going for 2 moves down the straight. He makes a move. Fantastic. There's contact between Pigman and Ghosto, but they make it through as well. Sorry, that's Owen. And it looks as if Ghost Rights is going into the pit lane. But yeah, that was fantastic racing from the guys there. It's only lap 2 and they're already 3 wide into Stowe.
Extraordinary, to be honest with you. I need that breathalyzer. Where's the pump? I need the pump. I'm getting my breath taken away from all these drivers with their extraordinary racing. However, one person I do got to say, actually, EKzer started in 8th, up to 5th, on the set of mediums as well. So he could be a huge contender for a race winner, especially with a longer stint on those set of mediums and keeping practically the same pace as the softs at this point.
Yeah, he's right in the back of Arctic Penguin. He's really snipping at his heels. That was Megan DeBegas, by the way. I have to correct myself there, but yeah, no, nice battles going through the grid at the moment. Not many people getting much of an advantage. Have a look back up at the front here. Anton is only 2 tenths behind Big Bambino and Co and Jackson as well, so it's really tightening up here. Look, an accordion effect.
Oh, we have a crash! DSB Harris around turn 3 right before Village, as he is now out of this race as Ghosty drives off. I don't know if they had an incident there, but yeah, now Silverstone has already taken the first driver out of this race, and it was Harris. Messed up with the invalidations during qualifying, and it shows in the race as well, being taken out after lap 2.
Unfortunate for Harris there this evening, not his day, but we are still on board with the leaders here through turn 1, turn 2 complex. As you say, this track is going to bite a few more drivers by the end of this race. And again, as always, as every race is, it's a race of attrition. You need to be in it to win it by the end of the race. And these guys right now, I tell you, they aren't giving no quarts already in this Grand Prix.
Well, now things are going to get a little bit more spicy for us in the comm spots and for the drivers out there, Lemony. DRS has now been enabled on lap 3, as always, and we could be seeing some major battles all over the field. But now Big Bambino is actually closing in a little bit on Jackson. Is he going to shoot on the inside of Cobb's corner? No, he's not. It would have been way too ambitious. Oh, it looks like he actually got a faster run there. He's going to look on the inside here. Antoine is looking as well. Look, all of these drivers eager to try and get past as quick as possible. But it's still lap 3 of 26. They still have a long way to go.
Here we go. The DRS open down the back, the hanger straight here. And Anton's going to go make a 3 wide. No, he doesn't. That looks like a double move by Big Bambino down the straight there. He seemed to block off Anton at the very last second after pulling out to pass Jackson. So I don't know how the stewards will look at that one. But anyway, that brings Alex D back into the equation here. And a Quasar could even be in there with his mediums. They really could start to come into effect now, especially with the softs starting to go off here.
Well, let's see how these drivers take it now. And you can see Antoine is trying to get past, and EKzer now is trying to get as close to Alex as he can. He needs that DRS to hold off Nick, hold off Total Carney and Carboy. But this battle up the front is really going to get spicy a little bit with 4 drivers in that battle. A few changes throughout, but so far, amazing clean racing, I gotta say.
The yellow flag, sector 1, who is that? That's Optic around the race, the pole position. winner. He started first in his Grand Prix. It's just gone from bad to worse. He was spun around in turn 1, and now he's spun around again out there. So he needs to hope for a safety car, get back up through the field, but it's not his evening this evening.
It is not his evening at all, but there's still plenty of racing left. So he could still get some sort of recovery drive at the end of this. But now Antoine is going to try and bite on Big Bambino up Stowe on the inside, and he already took it. The DRS is super strong, especially down the hangar straight. And Antoine now has the race lead.
Big Bambino didn't really fight that too hard. We were riding on board of Jackson watching this move unfold in front of us, and yeah, he just kind of got away with it really. Big Bambino didn't really block that much at all.
He's probably thinking on the longer run, because with the DRS going back and forth, it's not a game of racing, it's a game of chess at this point. Who would have the better strategy using that DRS and trying to optimize on it? But now with those 4 drivers practically battling each other with their DRS, eKaiser was actually closing in a lot recently. So eKaiser could be entering that battle, and we could be looking at a 7-driver battle for the race lead, as just Coconuts has spun around. And Crew Steamers takes evasive maneuvers on those set of hards as well.
Crew with eyes in the back of his head, in fairness to him, he's so wily out there, he knows what he's at. Wouldn't be surprised
I'm also
to see
looking
him.
at the chat. Looking at the chat now, so Kenneth is saying hello. They're supporting eKaiser. Your boy has been on a roll here tonight. We also have Patty Pat in the chat, one of our very own commentators, one of our very own racers as well. Patty Pat, an extraordinary to see you in here as well. And honestly, gotta love the support of Prospects. But so far, if you guys are just queuing in, welcome to Prospects eRacing League Tier 1, Round 11, the penultimate race of the season, where we are here at Silverstone with Lemony Tang and Just Gaming, or Justin, however you guys prefer. But let's see how this develops now. Lap 6 out of 26.
Good to see you all. Nice to have you all with us, ladies and gentlemen. As Justin was just saying, happy out as always to have you here watching the Grand Prix, right along with Carney now at the moment in 7th position, right behind Nick. Nick is struggling on them softs, but he's also trying to keep in touch with Quasar. The rest of the field, the top guys there, starting to spread out ever so slightly. Still in DRS zone though between them all.
Yeah, so it just comes down to overall pace and overall strategy with these drivers. Who would have the best one? And what I'm looking at right now, so Nick could be in a huge heap of trouble. Has been around 4 laps behind eKaiser, and with those set of softs, with fighting that dirty air as well, he's really going to struggle. But now up the front, we actually could see Big Bambino get a position up. Entering the DRS zone now, the rear flaps is wide open, and we have a spin near the back of Just Coconuts. He's not having a good race here tonight either.
No, Big Bambino decides to back out of it, same as Nick. Nick is right on the back of a Quasar also. So yeah, these guys are just playing the patient game really, I have to say, trying to figure out where they're faster than their rivals, trying to sort it out. Although Pigman and Safane are going, yeah, they were battling hard through there, down with Owen as well. There's a fantastic battle happening down here. Safane going around the outside of Pigman into the second last corner. He makes that move stick. What a fantastic maneuver. But Pigman tries to get the old switcheroo, but it doesn't quite happen. And he has to fall back in line as they cross the start-finish line down into turn 1. Owen is getting a great run as well. Can he capitalise into turn 2? No, he backs out of it just to be safe than sorry. Owen knows too well that he's been on the receiving end just as many times as we all have. You know, sometimes his best caution is better than valor right now at the moment.
Exactly. It's all a patient game at this point, and you really trying to... It's basically, they're the pawns of your own game, and that's why you got to control them and try to make it benefit you at the end of the day. I'm also looking at Nick actually lost a position earlier to Total Carney around turn 1. Looks like he had a little bit of a slip up right behind eKaiser, and Total Carney was able to make up on that advantage.
Back on board with Nick now, as you mentioned him, going through the Mackett's Vegas Chapel complex here. Great stuff. onto the hangar straight. It's mad to think they used this in World War II to launch the bombers and things like that off, but maybe my history mightn't be as accurate as I think it is through that one. We'll find out later. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic stuff. An old airbase as once was, providing some fantastic racing, some really fast-paced racing through these fast corners. It's great to see with these F1 cars and everyone pushing each other so hard.
Exactly, all of these drivers trying to make up something, but Sofian has spun around right behind Pigman Man, right before the Vale chicane, and now he's going to fall down to 14th. And it looks like eKaiser is struggling to keep up with Toto Carney now. We'll be having the DRS, so that's going to aid him in that push back to 5th, but it's still a lot of distance between those two now. But with it being 8 laps now, those softs could be that time for to make those pit stops.
Flag sector 2. Who's that off in the right hand side? That's Optic. Oh, alright. He's just keeping well out of the way. Fair enough. Good stuff from himself. It's like, who's that in this side?
Yeah, Optic is just not having a race that he would want to remember. Very unfortunate for the man. And Harris has just left after crashing out. I believe it was lap 2. Yeah. After I believe he had an incident with Ghosty, but I'm not too sure.
Optic trying to keep out of the way, getting himself penalties. Bad to worse.
Bad to worse for Optic. Pole position as well. But now Toto Carney is going to be the first one off the front people to go into the pit lane. Same goes with Nick. So let's see what tires they go on here.
They were all quite bunched up as well. Yellow flag sector 3, I don't know what that's for. People just coming into the pit lane.
Oh, Optic retired.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Optic retired in the pit lane. And there you go, just as I expected, the set of mediums for both of them. Nick almost getting past Toto Carney, but the Mercedes Pit Rouge is going a little bit faster. Oh, and Sofian has retired into the pit lane as well. So it looks like after he had that spin, he just believed his race was over. Unfortunate for the man. Actually, it could have been just a faulty issue with the engine, potentially, in the Ferrari. We'll just never know. We'll have to wait and check to see on them after. But with that being said as well, that front 4 is really pushing each other to the absolute limits here, Lemony.
Yeah, we ride on board at Alex D through the Maggots and Beckett's complex, following Jackson, Big Bambino and Anton respectively. Everyone is still in sight of each other, so let there be no fact about it. This is a 4-way battle for the race win right now. Big Bambino just keeping 2 tenths behind Anton consistently as everyone peels into the pit lane. Nobody tries to do the overcut. They know the tyres on the undercut are where it's at, so they have to make this move happen on track now, Justin.
Exactly, but now one thing I'm actually going to be watching, Toto Carney and Nick were around 2 seconds behind the battle of the front 4, and now they're making their way towards Stowe, so have they pulled some sort of undercut on them? I'm not too sure. They're still quite far distance away, but they could be making up some sort of distance, at least potentially a few tenths, maybe even a second. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, Quasar is obviously in the lead, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out as well, respectively, with this. But as you say, there was pretty much a gaggle of cars all around each other as we see the guys rejoining just in front of Crew, Steamers, and Toto Carney and Nike, respectively. So, yeah, as you say, closer than I was expecting, I have to say.
Yeah, so it looks like the pit crew working double time to get those cars back out on the track, and of course that's their job. They need to do that, and they do it in sublime good pace.
Too right. I think Dylan had a bit of an L spin through turn 1 himself. Easy to do on new tyres, because as well as that, because the tyres degrade obviously through the stint. You're used to the muscle memory going through, and then the one time you go through a brand new tyres, you have more grip than you expect, and it can catch you out, and that is what could cause a spin sometimes as well.
Well, let's see this now. But one thing that's actually going to be happening here, that's actually going to help eKaiser, Pigman Man is on an old set of mediums as well, currently in second, and he could potentially be holding off Owen, Antoine, and Big Bambino. So this could be a huge advantage for eKaiser and trying to take the race lead here, but we're just going to have to wait and see as he's now ahead by 18 seconds.
Big Bambino and Anton.
Oh, Dylan has crashed!
Oh,
Dylan has crashed, and that's a
VSC.
virtual safety car!
Where's the Quasar? That's the first thing I'm looking at. Where's the Quasar with that VSC? He's nowhere near the pit lane. No one's
He's by
really,
left field.
Yeah, no one's really able to take advantage right now. But who was that who crashed? You were saying Dylan.
It was Dylan. Oh, man. It was in the dreaded Cops corner right before Maggots and Beckett's. And that's the one thing about Cops corner. Oh, and it's a full safety car, so this is going to help eKaiser.
eKaiser is sorted. Is he? He's going to get the lead. He's going to get the lead.
Actually, hold on. He would still have to do 16, like right now he has 16 laps still left to do around the circuit. Would his softs actually last the rest of this race if he goes for softs?
Ooh,
that is the big thing as well.
He'll have to go for the hards.
To go safe, but knowing eKaiser, he wants the race win. I think he might go with a set of softs.
But you see though, a set of hards are a safe bet because you're gonna make it to the end of the race. Where a set of softs, 16 laps. Nah.
Well, 2 of those laps will be under safety car potentially.
Yeah, but
so that could help, but still, 14 laps in these conditions potentially, because it is quite cloudy. The track will be a little bit cooler, so it could help.
He's in it. He's going on the softs. He's going on the softs.
Oh, and
yeah.
Owen's going into the pit lane as well, and he hit the back of Pigman Man. 5 seconds to him now.
Oh man, that's not good news. He'll be able to serve that in the pit lane, hopefully. Crew is 5 seconds penalty speeding in the pit lane. Amateur hour out there for Crew.
But eKaiser now officially has the race lead with those new set of softs, looking to try and get a huge gap on Antoine. That safety car really coming out in eKaiser's favor. So it looks like a lot of the guys that were voting for eKaiser in this race, Kenneth being one of them, he is going to be ecstatic in the commentary, or in the comments box.
Go on the boys, go on the boys. Fair play to you, I'm telling you now. Oh, it's just got spicy now. A lap 11 out of 26. We're not even halfway through here, Justin and ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you now, it already feels like the last 2 laps. It's going to get wild out there. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it, and it's not COVID. I can feel it.
Well, let's see if these drivers can recover from that as well, from that mishap. But if you were in the mindset of eKaiser right now, what would be going through your mind?
Don't mess it up. Now, what would be?
You know what I would be thinking?
Go for it. Go on.
I would try, like, if I was in eKaiser's shoes right now, I would say, good, I have the race lead. First things first, try to get that amazing start off of Antoine at the exit of Vale Chicane. After that, you want to get as far as possible away from the medium runners to not even give them DRS, so you can have such a huge lead. That way, if your tires start to deteriorate at the end, you already have that gap to give yourself a little bit of reassurance that you're going to win this race. So if I was eKaiser, that would be where my mindset would be at right now. Antoine, complete opposite. Stay with eKaiser, catch him out on mistakes, and trying to retake that race lead.
Do we know what the tire model is like for this game? Because the reason why I'm saying it is eKaiser should build a bit of a gap, as you say, maybe about 5-6 seconds, and then just hover it around there, keep some life in the tyre for the end in case Anton and all, inevitably they will come back at him. Or does he bolt, use all the grip all at once and then fall back towards them near the end more severely? Or is the tyre model just not able to cope with that and it doesn't really matter what he does? You know, I know there's a little bit of degradation and stuff, but I don't know.
Yo, that's actually a good question. I have no idea, but anything is in the air for eKaiser. He could actually do that. Just nurse those tires while staying ahead of Antoine, even when it comes to DRS. So he could do that as well and use the tire when it truly counts, or he can just go all out with the aggressive start with the set of softs, and then trying to bounce back once it deteriorates, but he would have that gap. So anything can happen with the occasion. He just needs to keep himself focused, keep his head down, and he will be fine.
On them softs, I tell you, it's a real cat and mouse game now for the rest of this race. Will he be able to survive? When is the cliff gonna hit? These are all answers that he will answer for us when the time comes, but until then, it'll be interesting to see how he pull away from Anton and Big Bambino. Does he use all his tires all at once? I'm very intrigued for this restart, which we suspect will be happening momentarily, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see who is going to be the one to come out on top. And when is the safety car going to come in? If it's going to come in this lap, we should be receiving the race control at some point. And there we go. Safety car is in this lap. It's going to be 13 laps on those set of softs, and I think that's a little bit more manageable for eKaiser, especially in these cooler, cloudy conditions. So let's see how these drivers take it. Antoine, pulling the Kimi Raikkonen, just not warming up his tires, just going straight as the drivers around him just swerve along the track. But
he's gone. He's out there pulling the trigger now. Anton is caught rapid. Where's he off to? He's over a second already behind Anton is. But Jackson and Co as well getting a good start there. That was a great restart from eKaiser, I have to say.
Really caught Antoine with his pants down, and he doesn't even need to worry about DRS at this point. Vintage has crashed out at the exit of Stowe right after the safety car restart. So he is now out of this race. Now Jackson is by himself in the McLaren, but eKaiser, what an amazing restart for him. Already a second and 2/10 ahead of Antoine, and he just needs to keep on pushing with those set of softs.
I can't believe Vintage crashed before the safety car. He crossed the line to restart the race. Oh well, hard luck to himself. He obviously is trying, as they all are out there. It's easily done. We've all, Verstappen nearly done it in Imola there last year. Another yellow flag out there. What's going on? He's got another
Pigman Man has spun around.
Not good for Pigman.
10-second time penalty for his exceeding track limits, and he has lost his front wing as well, so... Oh, and I'm actually looking at a Ghost and Clement. We're going side to side around cops, and one of them was a Mercedes. I almost had a PTSD moment right there.
Oh my god.
Both of them getting through it cleanly, though, so that's good to see.
Good stuff from themselves. They seem to be going down at a round 2, down the hanger straight now. Are they? No, they're not. I think Clement is catching not as much as he would have wanted through there.
Oh, but now look at this. Antoine is now within that 1 second gap on those set of mediums. So eKaiser really needs to pick up the pace now. Or if not, he's going to go with potentially the strategy that you just said, actually, Lemony, where he started just to nurse those set of softs, do not rush through them. Pigment Man now retires into the pit lane, and he's going to be out of this race. But yeah, Antoine just trying to stay within that 1 second gap, and he's actually succeeding at that.
Good stuff from Anton, although he's just out of it now. What can he do? He runs a little bit deep to try and get a nice slingshot out of the corner, but it's still a second. No, it's not. It's 9/10. It literally is changing by the second between these two drivers. What can they do? It's all, you can nearly tell the ERS deployment with the time difference.
Pretty much. And it's going to be close here with Antoine and eKaiser. Because Antoine, it looks like he has some extraordinary pace on those set of mediums. Now 8/10 behind eKaiser. And Big Bambino now hit with a 3-second time penalty. He's going to have to serve that at the end of the race. And that could be ruining his chances of a podium position here.
Yeah, there's going to be a few penalties that are going to be coming into scope by the end of the race. Crew Steamer, so 6 seconds as well out there. Owen still has a 5-second penalty to serve in the next pit stop if he decides to go for another one, or at the end of the race. There's 10 laps left to go on this, ladies and gentlemen. We're lap 16 at 26. Equator is your Grand Prix leader, with Anton following closely behind in second on a medium. And then Big Bambino, Jackson and Alex are following in co with Total Carney, Nick, Cartboyle, Arctic Penguin and Just Coconuts is your top 10.
Well, let's see if that top 10 will last, because it could be changing throughout it, as Antoine is now less than 4/10 behind eKaiser down towards Cop's corner. And this is going to be a little bit hectic for eKaiser trying to hold on to that race lead. But let's just see how these drivers take it now.
Let's see how the AlphaTauri driver does through the exit of Chapel. He seems to get a nice run. Anton, though, doesn't even bother with the slipstream. The DRS is open down the back straight, and he pulls back into the slipstream at the last second to gain his line through Stowe. But he didn't really seem too fussed about it. I think Big Bambino and Jackson have gone side by side, and Jackson makes the move on Big Bambino into Stowe. So it's really kicking off back here now as well here, Justin.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the biggest moment in this race. Antoine and eKaiser, penultimate race of the season. They're both 1-2 in the driver's standing. Because if Antoine Cross keeping a clean race, get as many points as he needs to make sure that it's guaranteed that he will have that championship.
Oh, here we go. No, I thought they were going to be going side by side through there. It looks as if Owen has dropped it out there as well. Not good news for Owen. He was battling with Crew and... Oh, sorry, it's Clement. Sorry, my apologies. Owen and Crew were battling with Clement, and it seems as if Clement has come out on the short end of that one. Maybe Equator should try and do a Schumacher here. You know, like entice Antoine down the inside, professionally foul him by turning in ever so quickly. Be good.
Well, anything can happen. Clement now gets hit with a 5-second time penalty as both him and Crew Steamers go into the pit lane now. And the headline of this race at this point is Antoine versus eKaiser at the end of this race.
Anton versus eKaiser. That is very hardest to keep in front, but is Anton gonna risk it? That's another question, as you say. We'll only find out sooner rather than later, but it's really heating up towards the front of the pack and also towards the mid pack there as well. Cartboyle, Nick, Total Carney and Alex all getting great runs. This is a DRS train down the back straight into Stowe. Can anyone make a move? No, they don't. Everyone's just holding station, really waiting for the car in front to perhaps have a mistake, and Total Carney's up the inside of Alex. Good stuff by Carney, and he makes the move. Stick Nick around the outside as well, taking advantage, and Alex loses 2 positions in one corner. He gets right caught rapid there with that one.
Alex just fell for one of those tricks like a pawn in the chess game, and he's the one that comes out worst of it. 2 positions lost because of Total Carney, and Nick actually doing a really good job in the Ferrari. So this could be a very, very good race for him here to break the dread of the Ferrari. But one thing I'm also seeing in the chat, though, we have CQB Leisure saying the EE for you, my man. We also have Monster in the chat.
What's up, Monday?
Looks like Monster and Quentin as well. Monster and Quentin, they're both going supporting eKaiser in this race. So it looks like Antoine is kind of the villain in this battle.
I tell you, Anton is smelling blood in the water here. He's right up in Quasar's Jaxie now. He's definitely got the DRS open down the back straight. Does he pull out a slipstream? Quasar doesn't go for the defense, but Anton still holds position. He's teasing Quasar here now. I must admit, Quasar, I tell you, he should do the old chop block on the last lap and leave it to the stewards, perhaps. Or perhaps not, who knows?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. That would be a sour taste in everybody's mouth with that. And that's going to be giving these stewards a little bit more work. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, is how desperate these drivers want to get that championship. Kaiser has the opportunity, but the way that he's going to have to get it is play dirty. Where with Antoine, all he needs to do is just stay behind Kaiser, and that trophy is his.
True, but a win is a win. It doesn't matter how you get about it. And, you know, as I say, don't get me wrong, racing incidents happen and all, you know, but professional fouls can too. And just invite him up the inside, turn in that little bit more. His car is already loaded, and he should just have the you know, give you enough of an advantage then. But that's only if he could pull it off. I tell you, it's hard enough to keep the car on track, let alone...
Oh, Antoine's going for it now. He has the DRS, eRacing, and the slipstream. He's looking on the inside. Kaiser can't do nothing about it. And Antoine now takes the race lead. Big Bambino is able to get past Jackson as well, as both of those battles were changed up Stowe.
Fantastic maneuver from Anton. He really chose his timing well, used his ERS to his advantage, as you say, and made that move stick. Pulled out very late. I thought there might have been contact with the front wing and the rear wheel, but it's turned out it didn't happen. But Quasar so close to the back of Anton now. Is he going to fight back down towards the... Oh, let me get me thing right there. Brooklands, that's it. Down towards Brooklands. Can he fight back? He's 5/10 already, though. I don't know if he can.
Well, let's see. All he needs to do is just... Now it comes to desperate times. Use those softs as much as possible to close the gap now between him and Antoine as they now make their way across Woodcut. And you see, actually, fun fact, you see this little starting line grid that we passed by just then?
Mm-hmm.
In group car racing, actually, that is where they start. And that's the one thing that actually makes Silverstone so unique, is that they have multiple, like, different types of racing here. So, a lot of history with this track as well. So they actually start there, and Cop's Corner is actually their turn 1, whereas Formula 1's turn 9. So it's just a whole different spectral with these drivers if they ever try to do group car racing.
Total Carney and Nick literally trying to take lumps out of each other. Side pod down the hanger straight there. Nick makes the move stick. That rhymes. But Total Carney will not be happy about that. Maybe he'll try and pull a Fernando on Nick if he can get any closer to him, because that was very argy-bargy. They were both very lucky they didn't spear off into the wall.
Yeah, because I actually just saw the replay on that. They actually locked their tires actually there. So not like locking as in like they jammed on the brakes, but like they were like intertwined with each other. So that could have been a huge incident between them two. But now Big Bambino on Jackson now through Brooklands is actually able to get up to third, and this is actually going to help Total Carney, because with him having no time penalties to his name, and the 3 drivers ahead of him having time penalties, he could be opted for a potential podium finish coming to the end of this race.
That's such an interesting such an interesting fact that you say there, Justin. It's definitely it. Janie, can Jackson get any closer to Big Bambino? He'll smell what he had for breakfast with that one, and he'll be fresh with he was that far up. I tell you, that was unbelievable stuff altogether from Jackson.
And those brown marks on the nose of the car, that is not the trading of paint of the diffuser. So they're gonna be getting a few sponges and probably a trash bag at the end of this race. But yeah, still up to the front, 4 laps left to go. Antoine Kaiser, who's going to be the one to come out on top of this?
I don't know, I tell you now, is it Quasar holding his time there? He's been hovering around that 4th. Oh, Big Bambino saves it. How did he do that? Nick takes advantage and takes the position, but Big Bambino is lucky he didn't crash out of this Grand Prix in through turn 2.
But now that's actually going to help Total Carney, as he is now going to be having the DRS. And Kaiser still struggling to get past Antoine. Or he could be tricking us all. Could he actually be slowing down intentionally and try to make it count on the final lap?
I don't know. He's 5/10 off anyway. There's 23 out of 26 laps. He's still trying to coax his softs as well, isn't he? So he might be feeling some tire pressure, tire issues more than anything else soon.
Yeah, most likely, because even with it being cooler conditions, and plus with the extra rubber out on the track, it could still be a huge struggle for eKaiser, and you could see that he's struggling, trying to use the ERS to make up some sort of gap, but Antoine is the one to be saving his ERS and keeping that race lead, as we now have 3 laps once they cross the line.
Everyone's kind of status quo towards the back there as well. I think they're just waiting for this last lap or two to really start making their move, because if you do it too early, the other guys are going to have an advantage to try and get you back.
Well, let's see if anyone can catch up on any sort of tricks here. And eKaiser is really trying to shorten the gap between him and Antoine as they now make their way towards the Wellington Straight. With the DRS, he's still not able to catch up to him. And we do have a yellow flag, actually. I don't know who that is. Is that...
Oh, Clement
retired.
Yeah,
and the AI controlled his car and brought it out on track.
That's awesome.
Yep, you gotta love this game sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, so 24 to 26, eKaiser still closing on Anton. Is he gonna do a Verstappen and launch his race-winning move sooner rather than later? He's running out of time here in the Prospects eRacing League, but this is the Tier 1 Round 11 from Silverstone. This has been just as entertaining as anything the real life controls and the Prospects eRacing Leagues have shown us before in the past.
Extraordinary. I think this is definitely going to be better than the real life scene of Saudi Arabia, I do believe. Even with the Alpines, if you watch that race, actually, with the Alpine duo of Fernando Alonso and Ocon giving themselves a little bit of an issue. I think with these drivers out here, I think that's the beauty of online racing, is that just like in real life, anything can happen because there's new faces, new backgrounds. Where in Formula 1, you always have the same old, except for this year where it is completely different from last year, but that's an exception.
Yeah, that is true, eKaiser on the penultimate lap now, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be thinking about this strategy. Look at him pulling out, showing his nose into the left-hander of Brooklands. But I tell you, as you say there, Justin, it's the chess game right now. The DRS is quite powerful here. You really want to be leading it out of the third corner on the last lap, or do you wait till Stowe to make your move on the last lap? I don't know. I say Stowe and try to take the defensive line on the inside of the Vale chicane, because in that way you'll have the outside of turn 17. That way you'll be having the fast going on the power a little bit earlier as you make your way around club. Even though the person on the inside is going to have a shorter time to the line, you're going to have the advantage with the momentum of pace. And even though that short distance could make you go a little bit faster by thousands of seconds. That's all it comes down to. So many times in this Prospects eRacing League, thousands of a second as they cross the line now to start their final lap. Anton is your race leader. eKaiser is in second. Is that going to be how they finish? You're with us for the last lap here, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have you along. Let's see how these guys get through the rest of this lap, Justin. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it looks like Antoine just goes on the throttle a little bit faster compared to eKaiser, and both of them has actually saved up quite a bit of ERS between them. So this could be a huge race to finish off the season. And the thing is with Antoine, all he needs to do is finish, and that driver's championship is his.
Good stuff from Anton. This is more of a swan song for himself, just a bit of a last lap to show how great he is for the championship. But eKaiser really showing his hustle here through the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Can he make it any closer here? Through the left-hander, through the right-hander. He's in the DRS zone, but is it going to be enough to take the win? I'm not quite sure. Anton has a fantastic run down the hanger straight, pulling out of the slipstream. keeping it nice and away. Quasar still gaining and gaining, but not quite enough. True stow to go, and it's Anton's race to lose, ladies and gentlemen. He is gonna be your race winner here this evening. Just better not light the rears up through the last corner. He doesn't, can't purgatorious, but that is Anton's race win.
An extraordinary race for Antoine, getting maximum points with the fastest lap, with the race win. And it's now, I think it's time to announce it, Lemony Tang. Since I do believe, I could be completely wrong about this, but I do believe this is the penultimate race of the season, and with Los Antoine getting... Yeah, this is the penultimate race of the season.
Well, they're able to drop 2 rounds, so only 10 rounds count towards the championship.
Well, let's see, because at this point, Antoine does... Okay, well, that changes everything then. Why didn't you tell me this earlier?
Sorry.
I was going to make like a huge announcement. I was gonna do a whole drum roll with my bongo over here, like the whole fucking.
Man. Oh wait! Oh no!
Ah, come on now, Lemony!
A real deal, I rectify it. Oh, sorry, man. I'm sorry,
hey,
man.
But regardless, today. Of course, regardless of the results, Antoine with a dominant season so far. Let's see if he can bring it back in the final race at Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Gets the fastest lap, gets the top step on the podium. Extraordinary race for him. My driver of the day. EK's have been an extraordinary race as well. Ugh.
He could very well be champion. I'm not saying he's not.
Well, since we have that speculation up on the field, I'm not going to announce it yet.
Alright, we'll announce it next week.
We'll announce it next week for the season finale.
You're not terrible. I know. That was a great race, man. That really was. Fair play to the guys. That was fantastic.
What a race that we have seen. But if you think that's going to be it for Prospects eRacing League, guys, you are surely mistaken, because tomorrow we will have Tier 2, same track, same place of Prospects eRacing League, and that is going to be it for Prospects, I gotta say, Lemony, unless you have any announcements to say.
No, that's me sorted. Normally the names of the drivers come up, but I think the lobby has decided not to do that for me this evening. So fair play to
same with me.
Fair play to Anton, who won the race this evening at Quasar. Commiserations to second. And yeah, third place, fair play to you too.
Yeah,
great
Alex
stuff.
actually, without any time penalties, is able to push from 6th to 3rd at the end of this race. So, well done to him. However, that's going to be it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button. And if you see yourself coming back from time to time, or you really enjoy the content here at Prospects eRacing League, make sure you hit that big, bold red button that says subscribe, and make sure that that notification bell is completely filled so you're notified every time we go live. And that's going to be it from me.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Lemony Tang, over and out.
Just Gaming, Justin. Lots of love and stay safe.